Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Thursday and welcome to this week's Handfasting video. We're going to be talking about living your vows. It's one thing to get married, but nurturing a marriage and making it last and living up to the vows that you made to each other, that's a whole other kettle of fish. Even if a couple has known each other for years and years and they've been together for a very long time, marriage does change their relationship. Making it official has an impact. And I'm not referring to the legal impact, at least not primarily. I mean, the process of state recognition of marriage is little more than filling out useless forms that are very important to bureaucrats and paying for their permission to marry with a marriage license fee, as if it had anything at all to do with those losers. But that's a topic for a different video. The difference I am referring to is making that commitment before the gods, your community, and to one another, and recognizing how this raises the stakes on the success or the failure of your relationship. This is even more true if there are children involved. No longer are you just two people in love. You've made a declaration and a vow to face life going together forward as a team and to see it through to the end. It sounds psychologically intimidating because it is. Whether the full meaning of this action sinks in before or after the hand fasting, it will sink in. And that's when the real day in, day out decisions about how to move forward really begin. Now, by all means, ask other people's, specifically married people's opinions about all this, because what I'm going to be saying next, and well, really throughout the entire video, is based solely on personal experience and observation. So take it with a grain of salt and all that good stuff. But I personally have come to see marriage as having two aspects. The first is the natural flow between the partners that just unfolds by itself organically. And then the second is the conscious decisions that both parties make that will either build up their relationship or tear it down. During courtship and before the hand fasting, I do think that we tend to go more on instinct and we judge the state of the relationship by mostly how we feel. But after the wedding, when your day-to-day business of life is officially joined together, I think it puts any sense of teamwork that you've built up with each other and within the marriage to the test. Because it's no longer, you go do your thing, I'll go do mine, and at the end of the day, we'll share a bed and call it good. Because you took an oath declaring that you were going to walk together, and that means walking in the same direction. And if we break down the root cause of most marital strife, it tends to come down to disagreements about how to navigate, choosing the road you'll travel, the destination you have in mind, what experiences you want to have in life. These things need to be negotiated, with neither party being asked to give up too much. And hopefully you gradually build up a shared vision, because that will add to the stability of the marriage. Now, one of the ways our pagan spirituality can help us is the recognition that all things come and go in cycles. Whether you hold with the wheel of the year sabbats or not, or you have other seasonal celebrations, I think you would be hard-pressed to find a pagan who doesn't acknowledge that the yearly shift in seasons has spiritual significance of some kind, and that in turn teaches us about other things in life. Now, specifically, our marriages will go through cycles as well, and learning to come together through those changes, recognizing that different seasons in life will require different approaches, will help us put in the effort that's needed to maintain our relationship. There's a lot of room for evolution within a marriage, even if we only look at the expected changes that come just going through life and getting older and what that means and the real world impact of that process. But in addition to things that go on the more personal day-to-day level, there's also a lot of external factors that can play a role in our marriage. There will be economic ups and downs throughout our lifetimes, and that can drastically and radically change our circumstances, as many of us are experiencing in the present moment. The upheaval on the world stage, it certainly suggests that we are due for a major blow-up in the not-too-distant future, and that's to say nothing of the issues that we have within our nation itself. These are events that will affect us as individuals, and that will affect our marriages. Obviously, the most easy to see example of this would be those of military service. You or your spouse, or both, if you're both in, could be called up to go fight, and then that means that will be a huge change in your relationship. And when you come back, neither of you will be exactly the same person as you are because of the experiences that you will have had. And even if you are civilians, there are going to be things that come up during the course of these things that will also impact the relationship. For instance, another thing that can happen is the next natural disaster. These things happen from time to time. Nothing's saying that it couldn't occur in our own backyard. Life is not all unicorns and rainbows, and figuring out what kind of support our spouses need the most, because different people do need different kinds of support, but figuring out what our spouse needs from us, that can help them, and that will improve the odds of us getting to the other side of the crisis, as well as them also providing us with the support we need in their turn. The hardest and worst parts of life is what makes faith so vitally important. If we have a concrete belief that all things will pass in due course, and we just focus on plowing through and laying the groundwork for a better future, not only will we be in a better place mundanely when things do improve, but within our marriage, we are going to say to each other, we are going to survive this. We're going to be an oasis for each other, and the hard times are not stronger than our relationship. And then, of course, when things do go back on the upswing, you are rewarded, you're in a better place, and you can spend a little bit more time nurturing each other than you are focusing on just day-to-day survival. These are just a few of the thoughts I have about what it involves and what it really takes to live up to our vows. I think it's a conversation that's worth a lot more dissection, and I would welcome people's thoughts in the comments below, or come see us on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. There's a link to join in the description box below, and um, I'd be very happy to hear your thoughts, so please do share them. But I think that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.